Welcome back everyone to my Manchester United career on FIFA 16. In the previous episode, we had a very promising start to our Premier League campaign for this season, winning at home against Tottenham on the opening day, winning at Villa Park on the Friday evening. Up next, we've got to play Newcastle at Old Trafford, but as you can see here, we have been drawn against Brighton away in the third round of the Capital One Cup. So hopefully we can go there, get a result, get ourselves into the next round of the Capital One Cup without any fuss, so I can focus my attention on the Premier League fixtures. That's most important for me. That's my main objective this season, to come away with the league title. So we've got Newcastle, Swansea coming up to end the month. It's certainly doable. I think we can make it 4 out of 4, and doing that will put us in good stead for the rest of the season. You know, if I could go on to beat Newcastle and Swansea, make it 4 out of 4 in August, and carry that form over into September, then we're going to be okay. I think we'll have a pretty decent season if we can go on to beat Liverpool, but we just got to keep plugging away and get those results. You can see, decided to train up a couple of players that I will probably be using in that Brighton fixture in the Capital One Cup, like Nick Powell, Jesse Lingard, James Wilson, Memphis, of course, who's so close to actually levelling up to an overall rating of 82. It was a good session. Lingard, James Wilson and Nick Powell, the three players that stood out the most. Pereira, not the best when it came to keeping possession, but we will work on that. I'm also thinking for the next couple of episodes, if you guys want to see it, I'll actually go ahead and play one of those training sessions with one of the players. I think it would be pretty cool, actually. I haven't done it yet. I haven't tried that out, so let me know what you think in the comments below. I did receive a couple of offers here for Juan Mata from Monaco. He was never going to go. He's an integral part in this team for the season ahead, but I did receive loan offers for Regan Paul. He's off to Morecambe, and the young Ashley Fletcher is off to Crewe. Now it seems as though fixed transfers are kind of a thing for FIFA 16. It's a shame after EA kind of promised us that wasn't going to be the case. You know, last year it was Aguero to Real Madrid. Well, this year it seems as though it's Alaba to Juventus. Maybe next year they'll get it right. I kind of doubt it, but we'll just have to wait and see. Now, up next for Manchester United in the Premier League was our third fixture at home against Newcastle United. In real life, this game ended in a frustrating draw, ended 0-0. So I wanted to make sure that wasn't going to be the case once the final whistle was blown for this fixture. Now for Manchester United, there was one debutant in the team, starting at centre-back alongside Chris Smalling, dropping Daley Blind to the bench. It was Rafael Varane, who was joined from Real Madrid for the sum of 25 million. It was going to be interesting to see how he got on, to see whether he would have a rocky start in front of the home fans, whether it would get to him, the pressure, or whether he would ignite some sort of partnership with Chris Smalling in front of David De Gea. Also, I was hoping for a little bit of spark from Harry Kane. He's yet to get off the mark for Manchester United. He's yet to score his first goal for the club. Now, I know we're only 2 games into the season, well, 3 games now, but I signed up for a reason, and that was to score goals. He's got a keen eye for goal, and I had every bit of faith that he would maybe get on the score sheet for this one against Newcastle. Varane, it seemed as though he was settling in straight away at Manchester United. He did so well, stood his ground, stayed firm, and cut out that attack made by Newcastle. They would be disappointed with that, of course, but Steve McLaren, he knew exactly what he was going to be up against. Darmian, for me, didn't work hard enough to stop that cross from Aarons, finding Cisse on the far post. It could have easily have been 1-0, could have found its way into the back of the net. Thankfully, it was the side netting, and he went out for a goal kick, but they had quite a few good chances, Newcastle. They were really pressing for that first goal of the game, and it was important, really. I think whoever got the first goal in this one would probably go on and win it, because it was tight in midfield. It's a bit of a tactical battle, really. I mean, they had Cisse, a bit of a pacey striker up front, doesn't really convert many of his chances, but he was on top of his game for this one. It's almost as if they had been buffed, the Newcastle players, ahead of this fixture, looking to get a result like they did when David Moyes was in charge. Now in the second half, business started to pick up for Manchester United. They went up a gear. They were looking sharp in that final third. Harry Kane managing to get his shot away there, but Tim Krul with a good save. We just couldn't find the back of the net. I was trying absolutely everything at such a late stage in this game, coming from the left, from the right, going through the centre. At one point I was just going all out attack. Even Rafael Varane was joining us up front, but we just couldn't break Newcastle down, just like real life. And so the final score was 0-0. Neither side with that extra edge to come away with all 3 points. Newcastle will certainly be happy with the point won at Old Trafford, but for Manchester United, it just simply wasn't good enough. The performance was okay, but we're just lacking goals. I'm hoping that we find our feet as soon as possible because we're going to need it, especially in fixtures like this in knockout competitions. God help us if we're not scoring when it comes to the Champions League. So Wednesday rolled around and it was time for the Capital One Cup third round game against Brighton and Hove Albion. I had a feeling that it was going to be tricky, this one, not just because we were playing away, but because Brighton probably saved some of their better players on their weekend fixtures for this one so that they would be fresh to try and cause an upset against Manchester United. It was also an opportunity for me to use players like McNair, Powell and James Wilson also started on the bench. Now Brighton almost got off to a bright start against Manchester United. It was Hemed with an absolute thunderbolt of a shot, nailing the crossbar and coming back out. Ramiro couldn't have done anything about it. If it was on target, it would have been a goal. A 1-0 lead. And because Brighton weren't considered favourites for this game, the pressure was all on me and Manchester United to do well, to get the result. And Brighton, they were giving it their all. They were unfortunate not to have a 2-goal cushion before half-time. They were brilliant in front of goal. So at half-time, a change of formation was in need for United. On came James Wilson for Harry Kane, hoping that we could turn things around and put United into the driver's seat. Memphis wasn't having the best of games. That I was hoping for like some sort of bicycle kick half volley, but he just didn't deliver with that chance. Ashley Young, probably our only player on the pitch that showed any optimism of getting through to the next round, as it looked like he was going to be through on goal, one-on-one with the keeper. It was Dunk taking one for the team and taking Ashley Young down to the ground. He did receive a yellow card for his troubles, and it was a dangerous position for Manchester United to have a free kick with just 6 minutes to go. Could Memphis, who had had a poor game leading up to this free kick, make it 1-0, possibly score the winner as well in front of the United fans to get us through to the next round of the Capital One Cup? With 28 yards from goal, Memphis hit the ball with power and found the back of the net. Brighton 0, Manchester United 1 with just 4 minutes to go. This is what football is all about. Memphis had turned a poor game into a good one, had silenced a lot of criticism coming his way if he had continued on, if he had missed this free kick, without doubt. And yes, we did go on to win the game 1-0 away against Brighton. We are through to the next round of the Capital One Cup. Brighton, they will certainly feel cheated from this one with the ref deciding to give that free kick to United. But Dunk knew the risk he was taking with that challenge on Ashley Young, picking up a yellow card as well in the process. But sometimes this happens in football. You win some, you lose some. We're through to the next round, and we was on to our next fixture in the Premier League, away against Swansea, the last game of the month of August at the Liberty Stadium. Costill will be starting in goal for Swansea, their new signing. Not sure what's happened to Fabianski. I'm not sure if he's actually moved. I will have to check that because I haven't seen a headline saying that he's moved to another club. I was surprised by Gary Monk's selection in central midfield with Britton and Cork and Bray. Up front they had Eder. I would have thought maybe Monk would have gone for Gomez instead of Eder, but they're both quality strikers. They know what they're doing. They can score goals. Now for United, the Schneidmare midfield returns with Schweinsteiger and Schneidlin. It was a change of formation as well, the 4-2-3-1, so Mata and Memphis out in the flanks, and I did start Harry Kane again. See if he can get off the mark for United, see if he can get his first goal for the club. He needs it, as we've got some important games around the corner like Liverpool, like our first Champions League group stage fixture of the season. We need him scoring. Now Eder for Swansea was looking very dangerous up front. He was getting himself into some fantastic positions, just screaming out for that final ball, but the likes of Bray and Cork showing their inexperience and not recognising the runs made by Eder. Varane as well was proven to be such an important part in this team for this game against Swansea. That slide challenge that he made just a minute ago on Cork, who was almost through on goal, was just perfectly executed. Bray almost got the better of David De Gea as his shot took a deflection off Luke Shaw's shin and it almost went into the bottom corner, but David De Gea made it look so easy of a save. Morgan Schneidlin did well here. It was great interplay, great build up towards it. Really, I would have liked that to have been Harry Kane taking the shot instead of Schneidlin, but our intention had been known. Rooney with a chance of his own hit the post. It came back out and it was a real poacher's goal from Harry Kane, and yes, he does get his first goal for Manchester United. He is off the mark running over to his other teammates on the bench and celebrating. What a goal it would have been from Rooney if it had gone in, hitting that on the outside of his right foot. But Harry Kane doing what he does best and being in the right place at the right time. Now come the second half, Swansea were all out attack. In the 52nd minute, they knew exactly what they wanted from this game, and that was 3 points. That was Ashley Williams with that chance there. David De Gea putting a stop to it, pulling off a tremendous save as he always does. So with that in mind and how the game had changed with the pace from Swansea and them looking for that equaliser, I just knew and I had to make it my mission to go and get a second. And we did. It would come from Memphis, showing great agility, great dribbling skills as well to work his way into the box, weaving in and out the defenders. He showed great ability to keep the ball at his feet in such an important part of the pitch, to stay cool and collected and to finish it as well. A brilliant way to go 2-0 up against Swansea. Gary Monk won't be too impressed with his team's defending there, as they did have a chance of maybe getting back on level terms with United, but it just wasn't to be as we started to take control of this one. Swansea sitting back, they didn't really want to concede anymore, but unfortunate for them, they did, because as soon as that second goal had been scored for United, their defence was just wide open. They were leaving in so many gaps, allowing so many opportunities for players to make runs into those pockets of space, and there's the perfect example there with Schneiderlin. There were appeals for offsides. Tabanu was looking at the linesman, hoping his flag was raised, and if you really wanted to scrutinise that moment, you can see that Schneiderlin was just onside. It was a good call by the linesman. Sigurdsson almost grabbed a goal back for Swansea. Would have been a consolation if anything, but David De Gea put a stop to it. He was tremendous. Man of the match for this game for Manchester United. Gary Monk was probably happy to hear the referee's final whistle as the game ended 3-0 to Manchester United. If it went on any longer, it probably would have ended 4 or 5 with the amount of chances we were given in that second half. A good game overall then for Manchester United. We're scoring again. We've got Harry Kane off the mark with his first goal for the club. Hopefully we can carry this form now into September when we come up against the likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, and of course that first Champions League group stage game. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thanks for watching.